Good morning, boys and girls at PCPC. I'm so glad to see you, and I cannot wait till we can get back together again and worship together as a community. Today, we're going to start out by going over our verse for the month of May. It comes from the Old Testament, from the book of Judges, chapter 2, verse 16. The Lord raised up judges who saved them out of the hand of those who plundered them. Boys and girls, this week we're going to talk a little bit more about a man that you learned about last week. His name was Samson. Now, Samson had something really special about him. Do you remember? Samson was known to be the strongest man alive. Now, let's see if you remember. Did Samson get his strength by lifting weights, or by doing sit-ups, or even running a marathon? No. Samson got his strength from the one true God. Remember, Samson was a judge for the Israelites. He was their leader. And Samson was so strong, we learned last week that Samson wrestled a lion with his hands and was able to kill the lion. We also learned that Samson killed 1,000 Philistines with a bone. Samson was such a strong man, but Samson failed to live as God wanted him to. You see, boys and girls, Samson had a big, big problem. Samson liked Philistine women. Now remember, boys and girls, the Philistines and the Israelites were enemies. They did not like each other because the Philistines did not worship the one true God. Matter of fact, the Bible tells us they worshiped all kinds of idols. Now, there was a very special Philistine woman, and her name was Delilah. Samson fell in love with Delilah, but boys and girls, Delilah didn't really love Samson. Matter of fact, the Bible tells us that she tricked Samson. You see, the Philistines wanted to know why he was so strong. That was the only way they were going to defeat him. So the Philistines told Delilah, "We'll pay you 1,100 pieces of silver if you find out the secret to Samson's strength." Well, one day, boys and girls, Delilah got sneaky, and she said, "I want you, Samson, to tell me the secret of your strength. Why are you so strong?" Well, thankfully, the first time, Samson did not tell her the truth. Matter of fact, he told her a lie. He told her, "If you tie me up with 7 heavy strings, then I will be weak." So one day when Samson was napping, Delilah got 7 strings and she tied them all up and she shouted, "The Philistines are upon us!" And Samson woke up. Samson broke those 7 strings easily because that was not the secret to his strength. Boys and girls, we know the source of Samson's strength was not those 7 silly strings. We know the source of his strength was God alone. Delilah knew that Samson was not telling the truth. So once again, Delilah begged and whined and pleaded and said, "Samson, please, please, please tell me the source of your strength." Remember, boys and girls, she wanted to do it because she wanted the money. So Samson once again told her a lie. He said, "If you choose brand new rope that has never been used before, and you tie me up, I will be weak." So while Samson was napping, the Bible says that Delilah got brand new rope out and tied them all up and yelled once again, "The Philistines are coming!" Samson woke up. He was able to get out of that brand new rope easily because we know, boys and girls, that was not the source of his strength. So Samson woke up and knew that Delilah had tricked him once again. Delilah was so mad that she kept begging Samson over and over and over and over again to please just tell her the truth. "If you really love me," she would say, "you would tell me the truth." Well, guess what, boys and girls? The Bible says that Samson was tired to death, and he finally told her. Now, he shouldn't have told her, but sadly, he loved her more than he honored God's gift. So he told her the truth. He said, if my head is shaved, my strength will leave me. Well, Delilah took that information to the Philistines, and they paid her the silver that she wanted. And while Samson was napping, the Bible says that they snuck in and they cut his hair and they shaved his head. Well, boys and girls, it was the truth. When Samson woke up, the Bible says his strength left him. The Bible says that the Philistines came in and beat Samson, and they blinded his eyes, and that they put him in jail. As he was in prison, his hair slowly began to grow back. Now one day, the Philistines were at the temple worshiping their false gods, and the crowds began to shout, "Bring out Samson! Bring out Samson!" So the servant helped Samson out, because remember, he couldn't see. And he helped Samson out, and Samson said, "Will you please help me put my hands on the pillars of the temple?" And so the servant helped put Samson's hand on the pillars of the temple. And the Bible said something amazing happened. Samson said a prayer to God. Samson said, "Lord, please remember me." Well, Samson took his right hand and his left hand against the pillars, and the Bible said that he pushed with all his strength and all his might. And those pillars came tumbling down. Matter of fact, the whole temple collapsed. Many Philistines were killed that day. Sadly, Samson was also killed that day. But you know what, boys and girls? God had begun his deliverance for Israel. God didn't forget about his people. God loved his people just like he loves us, and he has chosen us to be his people.